Hello, welcome back. I just got done with a class and decided to sit down and record. So I'm still working on the setup here. I haven't quite decided if I like this, but I think it might work. I think it's definitely better than last week's. But yeah, we're just gonna work through it and we'll see what happens. I, in the last few days, have been doing a lot of spending time going out and exploring, right? And a lot of that because I'm in this new place and I'm making friends, but it's a process of it takes a long time to make connections, right? And to make genuine connections, and everyone has different things that they want to do and different things that they want to see, and sometimes coordinating things with people just doesn't work. And so then you have the choice of, do you want to wait or do you want to go and do whatever it was that you wanted to do, right? So I've been doing a lot of things on my own lately, which honestly, I love being on my own. I love my alone time. And also it does take a little bit of mental reminding to myself that like it's okay to go do something alone. Like I went to the beach the other day and none of my friends were able to go that day. So I went alone and that was fine. One of the things that one of our advisors told us in the first week of classes, even before classes started, was when she studied abroad, one of the biggest lessons that she had to learn was that it's okay to do things alone, because sometimes, no matter how much coordinating you do, it's just not going to work to get everyone to be able to go all at once together. Everyone has plans, everyone has their different things to do, and sometimes you need to learn how to appreciate being in your own company. And so this is specifically for study abroad, right, that I've realized this, but this is something just in life in general too that I've been noticing over the last few years. This is gonna sound weird, but sometimes when I'll look at my Instagram, I will look at it and I'm like, wow, I look like a really lonely person. Which I don't know, maybe I don't, but to me, seeing that online, I'm like, wow, like all of my friends are constantly posting things with people because they have private accounts. And personally, I've never liked to post people on my account very often because it's public and I like to keep my personal life personal. But also, I mean, yeah, in reality, I do spend a lot of time alone too. And I enjoy that alone time. I like having alone time. And so I do spend a lot of time alone. Just realizing this pimple is looking really bad. Everyone gets to see it. I really enjoy having my me time. I'm an introvert. I like having that. And it can also be hard sometimes, right? Like I think everyone knows that. It can be a challenge sometimes to not maybe have someone there all the time, right? And that's something that I think that a lot of times when we have the idea of going out and doing something or have the idea of exploring things, it's like with people, you know? Like I take myself, well actually I don't. I'd like to take myself out on like solo dates a lot more often, where it's like I go out to a restaurant and I enjoy it, even though I don't have someone to be there with me, right? I love that. Like sometimes I do have people who want to go out and that's great, but I also sometimes crave doing things on my own, if that makes sense at all. Like I love going to a coffee shop. I love going to a restaurant. I love going to do whatever it is that I want to do alone. And so this time being and studying abroad and just slowly beginning to get to know people has been a fun little way to realize like, yeah, I really do love being independent and on my own sometimes. Maybe not always, but I do love that ability to enjoy time with myself. I've been really, really enjoying that. And I've also been really, really, wanting to make friends, right? And I have been, and it's also a slow process. And I'm trying to be easy on myself with that and allow it to just kind of happen instead of feeling like I'm forcing it. Because in reality, There are so many things to be doing that I could be doing, that I want to be seeing. And I don't want to wait for the moment that feels perfect or the moment that all of my friends are able to come with me, right? Ultimately, I want to be able to see what I want to see, and I will go back a million times, right? If people want to go back another time, that's great. And I think it's really important to just be able to be a tourist, be a traveler, be curious on your own, because ultimately you need to be able to be comfortable being with yourself. And this is not just for people who moved across the world, right? Who are studying abroad, any of that. I mean that in like everyday life. I've talked about that before in the podcast, but I will say it again and again. Like, you live every single waking moment of your life with yourself. So it's important to be able to treat yourself like a best friend, right? To be able to enjoy your own company and spend that time with yourself. And that's what I've been working on doing a lot lately. And it's been nice. It's been interesting to see how it feels to be exploring an entire new place and kind of doing it on my own, right? Like, I have a lot of friends, I have people who are doing it too, but we're all on our own journey in a way. We're all figuring it out on our own in a way. And that's something that I think is, I don't know, it's kind of empowering. It's kind of exhausting too, but there's a part of it that's empowering because I look back on even just everything I've done in the last few weeks and I'm like, that's crazy. I've been doing so much. I've gone through so much. I feel like capable of doing that, which is crazy to me. Like, I've had to set up bank accounts. I've had to deal with insurance. I've had to like deal with so many different things on my own. And realizing and being able to do that and be like, yeah, I did that and I made that work. And also just exploring, figuring out the transit system, spending time on your own. I was really nervous to go to the beach on my own because I thought like, okay, well, when I get there, like, what am I going to do? I'm going to get bored. I spent a few hours there just hanging out, just enjoying the time, not having anything to keep my mind busy. But I let myself be bored, and it was an amazing feeling because I was relaxed. Does that make sense at all? I don't know if I'm making sense at all, but I guess my theme lately has been exploring new things and being easy on myself. I posted something on Instagram about this, but I will talk about it here as well. I have recently been dealing with some medical issues. My medications that I have for PMDD are supposed to be refrigerated. And it's kind of iffy if they need to or not, in terms of like if they'll work if they're not refrigerated. Well, turns out they did not work because I did not have them refrigerated while I was traveling, and a few days before that, turns out that my medications were not functioning the way they were supposed to. So I had to go through the process of figuring out with insurance everything and getting a new medication. And I had the supply to last the entire time while I'm abroad. I was like, I'm going to get the medication before I leave so I don't have to deal with it when I'm in Australia. And then I had to deal with it. So right now I am kind of waiting for my body to start processing that medication again and for my PMDD to lessen, or the symptoms of it to lessen. So the last few days have been an adventure. And I'm trying to be easy on myself and also trying to allow myself to get out and get up and do things and just kind of take it step by step and day by day. And ultimately, I think that's the thing. You know, I think that's so important to be able to do. And I really struggled with it at first. And I still am struggling with it. If I'm not going to lie. It is hard to sometimes get up and get myself to go do something and have the motivation to do that when it's all up to like, what do I want to do? I don't even know what I feel like doing right now, right? I think I'm going to go grocery shopping, but I kind of want to go out and do something. And I also kind of just want to lay down because I'm exhausted from this medication thing. Like, it can be a lot to just figure out a new place and figure out a new place of existence, I guess. Everything is different, right? And it can take a long time to find a pattern, a routine there, if that makes any sense at all. And so lately what I've been doing is just allowing myself to take it easy, to take it day by day, step by step, and allowing myself to explore new things, whether that be going an hour to get somewhere or maybe just exploring that one store that's right next to my housing. I think that doing something new every day, allowing yourself to be curious every day, is so empowering. And I think that it's really important to be able to do. Our minds, we're meant to be curious. We're meant to be creative. And this time has started to allow me to do that. I have a long ways to go. I feel like I'm barely beginning to grasp it all, but I'm beginning to allow myself to be curious and to exist. And there's something really empowering with that. So I'll see you next time, and I'll have a lot more updates on what life is like right now, I guess.